Okay, today I've got a massive show for you. I don't know if you guys have been tracking this Hyperliquid well. This guy that took a position of over $1 billion long and over $1 billion short on Hyperliquid. Well, listen, he made about 87 million on the long. At one point, the account was up $87 million on the long position. And then he went short and lost a little bit of money. And then he decided to leave the casino with $25 million in profit. And I thought, well, I don't think he's going to be able to leave the casino. And guess what? He's back in the casino now and taking more positions. And I think the big question, I want to find out who this guy is. And I want to find out if he knows something that we don't, because he's plotting the charts going up. All the way up into this blow off top into July. So today I've got an exclusive interview for you with James Wynn. He's here. And then we're going to talk about a whole lot of altcoins. I think specifically we'll talk about Hyperliquid because it is up 50% in the last week. So if that sounds good to you, and I don't know how that could not sound good to you, what I need you guys to do is obliterate the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get the show on the road, guys. Big show. It's not every day we get a day like this to speak to someone who's been playing the market so hard, and I really am very, very, very excited about this guy. So for those of you who don't actually know who this guy is, so obviously you all know what Hyperliquid is, but just in case there's a few of us that don't know what Hyperliquid is a derivatives exchange. It's a decentralized derivatives exchange. It kind of feels and looks like a centralized exchange. And this is where traders, degen traders, go to trade on leverage. And there's been one trader who has been referred to as like the Hyperliquid whale. And what he's been doing is he's been taking these ridiculous longs and ridiculous short bets on Hyperliquid. I think at the peak, he took a $1.25 billion open position or long position on Hyperliquid. And then he made his money. He made a couple of $1 million, like $80 million or $90 million. And then he swung short. Now, some people say, okay, well, hold on a second. This guy is a one-hit wonder. But let me tell you that I've done the research, and actually, he's not a one-hit wonder, and I can prove it to you guys. So this is a call from James Wynn's account. And if you see the date stamp on the call, it is the 16th of April, 2023, right? And on the 16th of April, 2023, this guy I predicted the meme coin PEPE can go up to $4.2 billion with a B. The current market cap was $4.2 million. Okay, now that's a 1,000x. Now, let's just quickly look at where PEPE actually went. So let's just quickly just say PEPE USDT market cap. Let's see if we can get a market cap chart here. What was the highest market cap for this coin, Josh? Okay, hold on. We're going to try and find it for you. Okay, Josh is going to try and find it first. In the meantime, I don't want to stall any further. So listen, if this sounds good to you, what I need you to do is obliterate the like button. I'm going to get James to join us. We're going to find out everything that he knows. We're going to talk a little bit about the Hyperliquid ecosystem. Then we're going to talk about the week that's coming up in the markets. So if that does sound good to you, obliterate the like button, and let's not delay any further. Let's bring James in. James, how are you, my friend?
I'm very good, very good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you perfectly. We can see your amazing profile pic, which we're going to talk about. All right, so I need to.
Before we continue, I just want to pay a very special tribute to Crypto Ranman. I've watched you for years.
Amazing. I remember the old alarm clock. You can see he's a long time degen follower. I can see you.
I've followed you for years, brother. Followed you for years. Anyway, let's go. What
amazing. So first of all, I need to understand who the hell is James Wynn, and how the hell did you know that PEPE, and how the hell did you know that PEPE was going to do 1,000x?
Mate, listen to me, right? So I'm obviously not going to disclose my age, but I'm many years younger than you, and I've been as a teenager lived on 4chan. I knew PEPE was going to be a coin at some point or another, and I thought PEPE would come in last cycle, like, because I was waiting and I was bidding on the PEPEs that was launching last cycle. There was thousands of them, but none of them took off. And do you know what was weird? It was well, I won't say where I was at the time, but at the time when Pepe first, this Pepe that took off launched, I was on iToken on Telegram. I was scanning I was scraping for change, man, for 2x's a year, 10x's a year on $100, $200, get the forex, in the trenches, They don't, a lot of you guys, you talk about the trenches, you don't actually know what the trench is. The trenches is where, you're hustling for flipping on the 2x, 3x on $50, whatever money you got. And I was deep in the trenches. I was on iToken on Telegram way back before we had these like new modernized scanners of the blockchains you got nowadays, like Morales and stuff like that. You used to have to read a bit of code, and Pepe come along, and I thought, oh, another Pepe, because there's so many fake launches of Pepe just because it's got such a brandable name, blah 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 blah, and it was like I think I went to sleep on it, and about 8 to 10 hours later, I woke up. And like my Twitter was pinging off, and like I had a Twitter before this. My Twitter was pinging off, and I was like, "Holy shit! This is the real deal." Anyway, it was like around 600k market cap, but I could just tell from just basic metrics when you look into a coin, especially when you're in that little degen racket, and who's taking to it and stuff. It was like, oh my God, this is going to be the runner. And even though it was in the midst of the bear market, like literally the cope from all, I don't know about you, Ran, but the cope from all the big influencers, they couldn't believe that the fact a load of degens like myself got rich from a meme coin in the bear market, because they can't comprehend or understand Pepe. They can't comprehend or understand community. They can't comprehend or understand culture. And they're all you guys are all trying to get it, understand it, like fake it. A lot of you guys are all creating your own meme coins, and it goes to zero like rapid time. It don't even go to 2 mil market cap, because you can't, you don't understand it. You don't get. I'm not talking to you, Ron, but well, you are part of that group. To be fair, like you're.
So wait, so hold on. So you made your money in the trenches. You were deep in the trenches. You put. I'm assuming that at this point you were scraping for $100, $200. I'm assuming this is where you ended up making all your money.
No. Okay. So this is where, right. So obviously I made a killing on Pepe. I made over 8 figures. It's all on chain. It's public. Like this has been public for like years now. So it's no surprise. No, nothing new. But no, before that I was in crypto since like, I dabbled in like 2017, the 2017 cycle or whatever. A couple of coins. I can remember them. I'm not going to even fucking put them out there. But yeah, I got wrecked on. But I was too young then, and I round trip my bags. I can remember I made 50k from like $500 2017 and round tripped it. Anyway, then I come back in 2019 DeFi summer, and 2019 DeFi summer. You'll remember that because that's what kicked off. That kicked things off again, and that's when. But I had a business at the time. Again, I need to be careful not to say too much about that. I had a business at the time, and I was making good money. And it was in Europe, this business. I was distributing a product, and then anyway, I was making money, and I thought, oh my God, I always believed in crypto, but I could sense it was coming back. So I started to put my money just in altcoins. Like meme coins weren't a thing then, so I started putting my money in altcoins, like literally everything I had. And then obviously everybody knows, like March 2020, like COVID crash come, and then again, I just went all in on the March 2020 COVID crash. I went all in, and I read loads of altcoins to like 10x, 20x, 30x, as you do. Like the fucking.
What's been your biggest trade? What was your biggest trade before this Hyperliquid trade? What was your biggest trade before this trade?
Oh, what in terms of like leverage and perps?
Oh, in terms of money made. Like, where did you make the most money on coins?
The biggest ROI, without shadow of a doubt, is Pepe. I got in. It's like I got in like between 600k and $1 million market cap. I was buying in, and I don't buy many things, believe it or not. But when I buy something and believe in something, I like to press. I like to have a bit of it. But I've sold like most of that off now and all that. But still a big holder, still a big fan. I still think.
So you say You say it's all on chain. How much have you cashed out of PEPE? Like if you were to put a number around PEPE, that's all. I mean, you say it's all available on chain, so I'm sure the on-chain sleuths have already done the work. But give me like an idea of the quantums here.
Well, I've got an accountant and he'll probably give you a more accurate number. Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. My books are a mess because I trade so
tens
much,
of millions,
but,
of millions, 20, like tens of millions, hundreds of millions, couple of million.
20 to 30 million dollars.
Okay, so you make 20 to 30 million dollars on PEPE. You put a whole lot of money into crypto.
Yeah, but included in that is also, don't forget the amount I've lost since that. So since PEPE, like the streets and the trenches have been shit. You know, and I've lost countless money on fucking these 𝗕𝗓𝗘𝗓 tokens and this, that, and the other. You know, I've like FOMO'd in like the rest. You know what I mean? I don't claim to have an edge. I don't claim.
So you're a real on-chain degen gambler, just like all the other on-chain degen gamblers.
Yes, but I also at the same time like to believe I've got a special edge because there's not only been PEPE where I've made money on and called from an extremely low market cap. There was 𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗓 last bull run. Okay, I got in. This was before like there was any like major influence on Twitter even talking about meme coins. I got an 𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗓 around. It was below 5 million market cap. That ran to $1 billion. Okay, well, over $1 billion. I got into Baby Doge. Again, very early. That ran to multiple billions. So. But again, like back then, I don't know. It's weird. Like you guys just see it like trending and like, oh wow, this coin's gone to $1 billion. But like our algorithms and our feeds for my age range or whatever, and you know the way we play the game. You're playing your game with the alts and hype, and I love hype by the way. But I don't know. We can kind of sometimes sense something different. And I don't know. I picked a few runners which you could say like. I've definitely got an eye for something. That's all I can say.
Okay. So walk me through that and then moving into like taking this massive BTC long position. What is your thinking of taking this massive BTC long position? And why did you take the position and why did you make it so public?
I didn't make it public. I honest to God, I was trading on Hyperliquid for several weeks and just sharing like I didn't realize what would come of it. So I was just sharing like the odd trade I was doing on there, and it was getting like really not many views, you know, like just normal, like I didn't expect any of this. And then me being me, who I am a degen, I am a gambler, I play high stakes poker in Vegas, I play high stakes poker in Macau, I played multiple like major poker events throughout Europe and online. And then so me being me, like, you know, when I made like 20 mil on PEPE long. Oh, this is on long. This is not spot. This is long on perps on Hyperliquid, or again on chain. And then like I started, what I do is I start to like, you know, put the gas to the pedal to the metal and start betting more and betting more. But where I really made my money and where everything changed for me is when Bitcoin capitulated to 74K. I was live in 𝗕𝗙𝗡𝗪 Spaces. I'm sure you know him.
Yes.
And I was live in the Spaces, and it was in that space I knew that was the Pico bottom. The Wyckoff spring come on, everything aligned on my chart, and I went like 100. I can't remember the number, but $100 million long on 40x leverage, and it ripped to 100K within like a few days. And I think that pulled off. I can't remember the numbers, but maybe $40 million or something. So and I think that's what put me on the map, and because the only thing that put me on the map is because when I was doing it with Bitcoin. Nobody cared when I was making millions of dollars on perps, on PEPE or Fartcoin. I made $10 million on like Trump coin on perps. Nobody give a shit. It's $10 million. Nobody give a shit. But as soon as it's Bitcoin, everybody wants to talk about it.
Okay, and so you took this position in Bitcoin. On the long position, when you eventually closed the position, how much money had you made when you closed the position on the long?
I can't remember. Again, like... exact. My account was plus $87 million profit.
Yes.
And it's only been open 6 to 8 weeks, so it was plus $87 million profit at its peak. And on the way to that, well, actually, you know, I think I first went up to like 3 or 4 mil, then I went down $10 million. and then obviously like up, up, down, up, down, up, down. Went to $87 million like profit all time high, and then then I had like a $30 million swing down, like where I was in the in the red 20 million or whatever, and then it come back up. But no, I've ended up taking a lot of money out, closed it down because I need a reset. Like I got a little bit emotionally I don't know, attached to me back. So I don't usually do this, but I was not used to all this attention. I never realized it was going to blow up, and when it was blowing up, I kind of accepted it for what it is. But I'm not here to get fucking famous. I swear on my life. Like
you just doubled, but you doubled down. You doubled down on the trade. I mean, you kept increasing the trade. I mean, it started off as a much smaller trade, then you increased it, then you increased it again. Okay,
yeah, I was bullish, and I still think I still extremely bullish. I think we are up, and up only. You know.
Okay, so why did you open the short? If you're bullish, so you went long, you profited on the long, and then you went short, and you gave back like $15 million in the short.
Yeah, I did, and that was because I was on. People would call it tilting poker. I don't like to say I was on tilt because I don't think I was on tilt, but I was emotionally. I ended up getting emotionally attached to that trade because my account was blown up at the same time with that trade. I ended up leaving it open too long, and then it started going down, and then and then you're reading the comments and the people like thinking, "What's this idiot doing?" You know, you lose judgment. I lost judgment, so I started switching about. I wasn't myself. So what I've done is I've cashed out $28 million. I think today I cashed out 28 million, and then I'm like slowly going to dip my toes in the water again. But again, like
I have to ask you. I have to ask you a question. It sounds to me like you're a British lad from somewhere, and it doesn't sound. I mean, I don't know if from the stories that you're telling me, it doesn't sound like you came from a whole lot of money. It sounds to me like you pretty much started in the trenches with. I don't want to say almost nothing, but close to nothing. Is my assumption correct?
It is very correct. And if it was ever, where I come from, I need to be selective in my words, but it's one of the worst areas in England. Nobody gets out of this area where I come from. And most people who are in this area are either in jail, alcoholics, doing drugs, or just living a very low-level life.
Okay, and now you sound like you've made tens of millions of dollars. Like, I mean, from the numbers you're talking here, it sounds like you've gone from that level to making tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, I always knew I would. I had a dream, and from an early age, I was selling stuff online. I was doing everything against the grain. I was selling stuff in school, selling stuff online, doing anything to make money, hustling, opening up businesses, failing. Like I was always like resisting the fucking matrix, as like certain people in the world will say it today. I was resisting, you know what I mean? I was always I always had a dream to make millions, and there was nothing that was going to stop me. One way or another, I would make millions of dollars. And I swear by that. Manifestation is real, belief is real, conviction. If you believe in your head.
And you made your money. I mean, essentially, most of your money you made in the trenches, and then like most of your pot you made in the trenches.
Yeah. I come from meme coins. I'm proud of it. I'm not here to say otherwise. I've made millions of dollars on meme coins.
Guys, let us know in the chat.
Or anything like that.
Guys, let us know in the chat. Just let us know in the chat where you think James is from. I see a lot of people are doing it. We're not gonna reveal it, obviously, but just let us know in the chat where you think he's from. So you say you made your money. You made your money in the trenches, and now you went into the casino. I call Hyperliquid long short the casino.
I call it the casino.
I mean, are you trading with a thesis? Or are you just trading in the casino? Like, do you really have
a thesis? I'm trading with my thesis, but I don't claim to be pro. I don't claim to be. I don't condone anybody to follow me on any of this stuff. Even if I'm up, I don't. Who knows? I'm profitable. Just because I'm up, don't mean I'm profitable. You know, but, you know, I'm just all. To me personally, all leverage is amplifying your trades. It's just You know, you could. Me and you could take the same bet. You could be spot. I could be 40x, but we're doing the same trade. I'm just amplifying like the swing. You know. And I've got that emotional stress tolerance. I come from a poker background. I've played at big money final tables and stuff. For me, you know.
But is this the biggest bet you've ever taken? Is this I know you say you come from tables and you've come from.
Yeah, of course.
Was this the biggest bet you've ever taken?
yes, the $1.25 billion loan was the biggest bet I've ever taken, but everyone thinks like, oh my God, like scary or lunatic or whatever. It's just, you remember, it's 40x leverage loan, so the margin on that was what? Like 15, 20 mil? What was it?
I mean, you say like 15, 20 mil. Most people in their lifetime won't see 15, 20 mil. You say the margin that was 15, 20 mil. Like,
Ran, let me remind you, when I did that 15, 20 mil 40x leverage long, it was during the month where I ran 3 to 4 million up to 87 mil. So it was profits. So I was pushing it and pushing it and pushing it.
All right, and then you closed. You closed the loan. Go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
No, go, sir.
No, so I turned like 3-4 mil into like multiple 10 mils in a very short amount of weeks on perps, on leverage, on Hyperliquid. And then, so I was riding it, I was pushing me luck. As you do in the casino, if you're on a hot and streak on the roulette wheel and you sit down with $100, $1,000, whatever you're fucking playing, and you start riding, you're getting the run of the numbers, you keep going, you keep betting. I'm that guy. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what happened. You know, I've not made that much money in meme coins. I've made a few million in meme coins, but then I ran it up on Hyperliquid and it's all on chain. And then I just started pushing it to the metal, and that was it.
What happens if you would have lost like the 20 million? Like how
this is the difference.
How bad would that have been for you?
Nothing. My life won't change. My girlfriend won't change. My mum and dad's life won't change. I'm sorted. I've got properties. The money I've made from crypto, I've invested in properties, I've invested in various other stuff. I've got a cold storage of Bitcoin, cold storage of like USDC and whatever. It wouldn't change. My clothes wouldn't change, my car wouldn't change. There's nothing I need or want anymore. And you might be like, oh, well, that's a lie. Why are you doing it? Because it's exciting, I'm doing it. Because it's a thrill. Because I love going to the casino and going fucking all in on black. And that's who I come from. And I got brought up going to the casino with my old man. So literally, like, I love it. And I know it's like irresponsible, DJ, and that's why I don't condone it. Nobody should follow me. Like, it's not financial advice. What I'm doing is irrational and it's getting a lot of attention. And I actually kind of don't want the attention, but now it's here. I'm kind of like, I'll be stupid not to, like, you know, just entertain it to some degree or whatever. But maybe tomorrow I'll just go offline and nobody hears from me again.
What positions are you in at the moment? Like, I think I have got a scanner open. So I see you've got a BTC long. You're back long BTC, but not big. 170. Well, not big. Huge. 175 million on this account, and then you've got a PEPE, a 𝗕𝗘𝗃 10x cross. Is that what's open at the moment?
Open at the minute, $19.8 million PEPE long, 10x leverage, which is probably I'm more bullish on that than I am Bitcoin, in the sense of as soon as Bitcoin moves, PEPE fucking moves harder. It's the number one altcoin of the cycle, in my opinion, not financial advice. Bitcoin, yeah, we all know what Bitcoin's going to do. You know, if you follow the global M2 money supply, you follow the weekly MACD, like, oh my God, we know we're off. Me and you know we've been off in the next 90 to 120 days. It's going to be the biggest blow off top you can ever see. And we've got institutional buy pressure, and retail are not even here yet. So yeah, I'm basically gambling at the minute from hour to hour, 4-hour candles, 12-hour candles. Maybe you see a $15 million loss, maybe you see a $40 million win, but it's fuck all. Eventually, I want my position to be fully locked in when we break out, you know?
So, do you
hopefully I get to that $1 billion position again, and then we break out.
This thesis that you've got here, so you think we're going to have a blow off top in July, and then we're going to go straight back down?
Yeah, tell me your thesis. Why? Tell me why you think my thesis isn't correct.
No, I don't. I mean, I actually have a very similar thesis. I think that the problems and the readings are going to start, but I don't know if we're going to go down until November. I mean, we've got a similar thesis. I think we top a month later than you think we top. But I'm keen to understand your thinking here. And then we top around August, local top around August.
Okay, my thesis is very simple. Like, if you just honestly, like, the global money supply, I follow that like to a T, and then that to me dictates most of me macro. And then obviously I follow the news every day with what's going on, like world events. But even that's just noise to a degree. Like, you know, I don't want to say it, but, you know, something could happen tomorrow, and it will be like a 10% flash crash, and then we're back up, because it don't fucking matter. It's all about the money printers. the rate cuts and blah 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 blah. And
so I have to ask. Carry on. Go on. I have a question, but finish. I have to ask you a question as soon as you finished.
I don't know. You've interrupted me now. I can't remember what I was going to say.
So I know you're a Bitcoin bull. I know you're a PEPE bull. It seems, based on everything that I read and see, that you're a massive MOONPIG bull, right?
Hey. It says this. I'm getting so much attention off the MOONPIG movement. I called it dead early. And I give it a bit of life from like day one. And I guess you could kind of say I've got it on the map. But no, I'm a massive fan of it and massive support of it, and it's because I know the team are behind it, and I know it's not. Well, everybody knows now it's not a farm, it's anti-cabal, and it's not been farmed. Look at the market cap, look at the volume, look at the holders. It's not. And the reason why that coin's going to be so successful, and that is being so successful, is you see, you're not from the trenches, man. So you probably think like, oh, what's this guy talking about? But everybody who lives and makes money on Solana or loses money on Solana or like any BNB chain, whatever, who's making money on meme coins or losing money on meme coins in their trenches casino, whatever you want to call it, there's a select group of people and who are creating the coins because they own, like say, all the meme coin influencers, yeah. 90% of them work in sync with each other. And then what they do is they create a coin because they've got 90% of the meme economy attention, whatever they call runs. But what they do is they send it to 10, 20 mil and they're farming the fuck out of it. They've already got 90% of the supply, they're selling. And it's gotten that bad that when this coin launched, the sentiment of this coin being launched at that time was just like the market was dying for a clean coin, something safe, something normal, something not promising you the world. So like all the coins recently, it's been like fuck coin, house coin. House coin like is preying on a housing market collapse to survive. Like it's negative, it's bullshit. Like bring back. I come from last cycle, so I remember all the fun dog coins and stuff, you know? Like, I don't know, MOONPIG, it's just stupid, it's silly, it promises nothing, it's just MOONPIG, you know?
So
like,
I have to ask you,
or not.
I have to ask you, like, how much money have you made in crypto? Like, don't give me an exact number, but give me like a ballpark. Like, what's the number? Is it 100 million, 200 million, 50 million? Like, I'm trying to, I mean, a lot of people here in the chat, are commenting about like how the bro came from nothing, how this is a story of like hope and stuff like that.
I did come from nothing, but I can't give you any numbers like that, you know. I could, if I was going to give you a number, what I'll tell you, man, I'm a billionaire. That's what I'm going to tell you. But that's obviously not true. It's not true. It's not true, man.
Over 100 million?
I think you must have ranges in your own head because, you know, from the data you've got and the information you've got. So I don't need to say we're under, above, you know, whatever. But again, I don't need it. You know what I mean? I'm happy. Give me, I don't need. Like I said, if I lost that long position, if I got liquidated, which a couple of times have come close. But do you know what? I think the big market makers, the big whales, and I don't think they want to liquidate me. There's been a couple of times where I'm watching the heat maps and like they could ping it down and liquidate me. But I've got a funny feeling, like because of the kind of DMs I'm getting at the minute. I'm not going to say who or whatever. I need to be careful what I say. But like, I've got a funny feeling like I'm their little like. I don't know, dark horse. They want to see running. You know, they want to see who loves the underdog story. Who doesn't love the underdog story?
I'm trying to find something here that I read. I'm trying to just find it. Here we go. So this is a tweet from Kevin from Galoy Capital, and he says I kind of want to see James Wynn really win. It would inspire a new wave of degenerate longs. And I think that's the sentiment that you've evoked in the market. I think everyone just wants to see you win. But that said, if I were you, I would be a little bit careful because, you know, there's a few people that want to see you win, but there's a whole lot of market makers that I think they would have a field day liquidating you.
Yeah, have they told you that?
They haven't told me that, but I just my experience of how market makers work.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I understand.
I just suspect that they may not want to see you win.
No, eventually, but I think they won't mind me seeing me win for a bit, and then they'll take me out when it plays their, into their game, into their favour.
All right, brother. Listen.
But, yeah,
go
on. Sorry.
I was going to say. I said we're gonna keep watching your positions. I mean, now you've got us all glued to the screen, so keep posting the positions. Also, guys, if you want to watch the positions, I'm actually watching them live on coinmarketmanager.com. Has a hyper tracker app, which is, I think this part of the hyper tracker app is free, and you can literally you can actually watch the market. You can see all his long position, short position. You can see all his holdings. Per buddy hype, I can see small numbers, but relative to what you got, brother. Listen, it's been amazing. It's been a bit of a. I mean, I was expecting something completely different, but we got like messages of hope, and I mean, I think people love you in the chat. The chat's going absolutely crazy. They all love the story. I think you've just managed to rally yourself a whole lot of new supporters. And I don't know, you got me as a supporter as well. Now, I didn't know you before today, and I think I've heard your story, man. I'm going to be rooting for you to actually win.
What you're doing is you're encouraging me to gamble.
Oh, no. Please don't take it like that.
You're rooting for me to win, but that's like you're encouraging me to gamble because
Oh man, what have I done, Josh? I've created a monster. Well, I mean, you were a monster before we met, so I think yeah. Someone says, can we have your MOONPIG prediction? Someone wants to know what your MOONPIG prediction is.
My MOONPIG prediction. So, this isn't financial advice. Like, nobody hold me to this, but it is the cleanest runner in Solana right now. And I know a lot. I've been around the block, and I know a lot about a lot of big coins on the market right now in Solana, and they're not quite as clean as everybody thinks. But people say they are clean, and I don't want to say the coin. I don't want it to come back on me because I'm attacking the community if I say it. But so XYZ coin, the biggest coin on Solana right now, who everybody's saying is going to go to all-time high. Yeah, well, let's just, I don't know. MOONPIG is clean as fuck. It ain't going to be farmed. It ain't going to be caballed. I got in on day one, Bird, by the way. Well, that's not why I'm saying it. I've already burnt $600,000 worth of liquidity. I've already bought back $500,000 at like 20 mil, 30 mil market cap, which will never be sold, used for exchanges, all in support of the team because I know who's behind it. I support who's behind it. And if you look at the Twitter, you look at the website, and you look at the HTX global listing, which is coming active in a couple 2 or 3 hours' time, like it's going into the big league. And do you know what? It's only at 72 million market cap.
Yeah,
look at the engagement. Look at the engagement. Look at the hold account. Look at the OBV. Look at the chart. It is the biggest. It's trending number 1 on deck screen, and not just on the trending on the home page. It is. It's the next big thing. But anyway, that's my opinion, not financial advice. And yes, I was an early investor in it, but I'm not here to show it to you to make money. Yes, I will sell my bags and take profit accordingly, as every investor should.
All right, brother, much love. We're rooting for you. We're not rooting for you to gamble, but we are rooting for you to win, my brother. So much love from me, much love from the Banter fan. You've given a lot of people a lot of hope. Here you've got someone who had nothing and says he comes from a bad part of town. And today is sitting on, well, he won't give us the number, but it sounds like hundreds of millions worth of profit. So much love, brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me on. Honestly,
cool,
my
brother.
pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so there you have it. You have the James, the DJ and the Hyperliquid whale on an exclusive here on Banter, which is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I think the one thing that does highlight for us is the strength of what crypto can actually do. But I don't encourage anyone to take as much risk as this man's taken. I mean, he's obviously, you can see he loves risk. He loves poker. He loves the trenches. And I mean, it's managed to make him a multi-millionaire. I think it also highlights the strength of Hyperliquid. How, like you've got this decentralized perps exchange where everything is on chain. And Hyperliquid is actually, for the first time, we're seeing a decentralized exchange actually eat into Binance's lunch. I mean, just look at like how we already now, if you look at this, we're trading. Hyperliquid is at 37% of the total of 100. So 37% of 100 is Hyperliquid, which means that it's doing about 50% of is that true? No. So Binance is doing, it's about 1/3 of the total if you compare it to Binance, which is massive in terms of a DEX. And that is a DEX and a chain. So remember, Hyperliquid is a perpetuals DEX, and it's also a chain with a massive ecosystem that's actually being built. Now, truth is that when you look at the Hyperliquid coins that are live, there's not many that are actually not meme coins. Like there's very few that are actually not meme coins right now. But there is a whole network that's actually being created or integrated into Hyperliquid. And so right now, to be honest, what I've done is I've just taken a position in Hyperliquid. You know that it was one of my picks for my portfolio, and I'm holding it. I'm not playing in the trenches. I'm not a trench guy, as James rightly pointed out to you. Also, what I've realized is every time I've cashed out a major asset to try and go and play in the trenches, I never cash back in quickly enough. And so very, very, very rarely do I actually land up making profits on my meme coin trades. And so what I'd rather just do is hold the DEX, hold the perpetuals DEX, which here, when you're buying Hyperliquid, you're holding the DEX and the perpetuals DEX at the same time. So like you're holding the DEX, the chain, and the perps DEX at the same time, which is kind of like a no-brainer. I do want to caution you a little bit in terms of where the valuation is. So right now, Hyperliquid's valuation is at about $38 billion fully diluted, right? So that's kind of like where it is today. If you look at what Solana is, and again, it's true that you can't really say what Solana is fully diluted, but you can kind of like look at the market cap of Solana now, and you can say, look, Solana's got a market cap of $100 billion or $92 billion. Hyperliquid is at about a third of that. Obviously, Solana's got a much, much, much bigger ecosystem. Hyperliquid's got about a third of that. Solana doesn't have, it's got Drift, but it doesn't have a decentralized perps exchange, which is as good as Hyperliquid has. But on the other hand, Solana has a whole lot of other applications. And so just to give you like a frame of reference on the valuation, today Hyperliquid's in about 40% of the Solana FDV. Also, if you want to compare it to centralized exchanges, I'll show you where it looks based relative to Coinbase. I think Coinbase is on a 60 billion FDV. 67 billion FDV. So it's about just over half of Coinbase's of FDV. And if you compare it to Kraken is trading on the secondary market at about $6 billion. So it's about 5 or 6 times Kraken's valuation. So just to give you like a relative valuation. Now, I know that I'm comparing a decentralized exchange and a chain to a listed vehicle. But remember that Coinbase does have the sequencing fees from Base. So it isn't such a bad comparison. So I think, look, long story short, I think Hyperliquid has found the killer app in crypto, which is a decentralized perps exchange. It's the first time in crypto history that we have such a killer app in crypto. It's linked to the chain, so you're getting the upside of the chain and the perps DEX, and there's a whole ecosystem that's actually being built around it. Now, is there still value at these prices? I think there is, but I'm not sure that if you're buying it now, I'm not sure that you're getting like an insane deal where the thing's going to 5x in this cycle or 10x in this cycle. I do think it's probably a good, safe bet to have. And to be honest, in my portfolio, it didn't start this way, but it's now become my third biggest holding. So I've got my biggest holding is Bitcoin, biggest holding is Solana, and my third biggest holding actually lands up being Hyperliquid. And it's not because I landed up buying a lot of Hyperliquid. It's just because I bought it and it started to go up and up and up and up and up. All right, so that is the show for today. Just one thing for you guys, if you're looking for something amazing to like an amazing exchange, I think I've got an amazing deal for you guys. So the deal is from an exchange called BTCC. Now, we've done a lot of due diligence on the exchanges, and BTCC is one of the good guys when it comes to actual exchanges. It's a perpetuals exchange. It's a centralized perpetuals exchange, but they have an amazing offer. So the offer that they have is literally 10% deposit bonus on any deposit above $500. And that's obviously capped at $100,000. So you can basically get a maximum of $10,000. So basically, if you open an account, put in $100,000, you get $10,000. You can then withdraw the $100,000. You just get yourself $10,000. If you want to qualify you should go to this. Yeah, you just use this promotion over here, and that will give you that over there. Also, lastly, before we go, we are looking for a bunch of researchers. So we have a big research team. We want to expand our research team because we're bullish on the market right now. Now, we are specifically looking for researchers that are altcoin. I'm not looking for macro researchers. I'm looking for researchers that really do dig deep when it comes to altcoins, that understand all the different altcoins on Solana, that understand all the different altcoins on Sui, understand how these things all work, altcoins on Base. If you are that person, or you want to go full time in crypto, we are looking for researchers. Just complete this application form that you have over here. the application form is designed so that we shortlist the ones that we actually like. And then, yeah, you'll join us full time. I think you'll have a time of your life here if you actually get the job. All right, so with that said, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Today, happy Memorial Day to anyone that's celebrating in the United States. Today, the markets are closed. Tomorrow, the markets are open. Quite a big week this week. We've got, let me just quickly show you what we have this week. We've got, today, markets are closed. Tomorrow, we've got consumer confidence data. The next day, we've got Fed meetings. And then we've got GDP, Q1 GDP, and then PCE inflation on Friday. So that's quite a big week at the end of week. And then remember, we've got the Bitcoin conference happening this week. I think it actually starts tomorrow. So it actually starts tomorrow's industry day, by the way. So tomorrow we have the Bitcoin conference actually starting. Traditionally, nothing like really big will happen until about 2 weeks afterwards. So just keep watching that. All right, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, trade well, my friends.